Zelda, what are you doing? Oh my goodness. Hello everybody and welcome back to The Sims 3 Unicorn Challenge. And it appears Zelda is very, very excited. Oh my gosh, everybody is just cheering about this little foal all of a sudden. But Zelda's very excited to be back in the Unicorn Challenge. So we are here in The Sims 3 world of Sleepy Meadows, continuing on with the Northstar family with our rebellious young fairy Zelda. And it looks like she is very, very happy. Everybody's cheering this foal. I have no idea why. I think it has something to do with the successful protest that Zelda just had. But we're over here greeting Cameo Strange, a young little foal. Let's see. Oh, there's balloons just floating through the sky. I've never seen that before. But Cameo Strange is a young foal who wandered into the park. Let's see if we can even pet him. Who wandered into the park while Zelda was actually leading a protest. And she led a successful protest against computers, the evils of technology, which is definitely going to make somebody like Zelda, who is really trying to go back to the fairy roots and start up. Oh my gosh, Arabella. She just like summoned an apple from thin air. I bet that's a trait that Cameo the foal would really love, because that could just be like, here, have an enchanted apple, little one. But Zelda is currently working on trying to make the Enchanted Forest. Can we talk to you, Cameo, please? What about Sniff Hand? Oh my gosh, she's so cute. Oh my gosh, Arabella is just like practicing her magic right there. Look at her go. That's so interesting. All right, and meanwhile, we're trying to meet and greet with this little foal. Let's see. Can we let him? We'll Sniff Hand. Let's try talking to him again. But Cameo here, a lot of you guys got super excited because you thought we could immediately take him into our family. He is not a wild horse. He's not some stray horse. He actually belongs to the Strange family. His last name is Strange, and I think we're doing a bad job of bonding with him. No, we're bonding with him a little bit. Can I feed him something? Let's bottle feed him again. This sim will get bored if you keep using the same social over and over again. Okay, so he's kind of bored. Oh, and Wyatt is becoming stronger with the powers of the Fae, aka his fairy powers. So we'll go check in on Wyatt in just a second. But Zelda here, her goal, in case you guys missed the first episode and the prologue of the Unicorn Challenge, is to bring back the wild, and not just any wild, the Enchanted Forest wild. So Zelda, as a fairy who is a supernatural fan and a rebel who loves the outdoors, plans on trying to take over the town. She actually sees not only the industrial part of town, but all of Sleepy Meadows, where so many different types of supernatural creatures, from witches to zombies, to fairies, to the werewolves, to vampires, all of those supernaturals and supernatural lovers live more or less in harmony here in Sleepy Meadows. But Zelda wants to take things to a bit of an extreme. She wants to start buying up land and knocking down a whole bunch of the buildings around town, so that she can create an enchanted forest. So she can basically re-wild the edge of the land and try to turn it into somewhere where the unicorns could really, really thrive. So she wants to let the unicorns thrive, will-o'-the-wisp. She wants to have some of the other enchanted creatures and a whole bunch of the other enchanted plants. We're thinking like flame fruit, life fruit, some of the cow plants, a lot of the creatures that would normally live in a magical forest. She wants to give them a new home to roam somewhere in the forest around Sleepy Meadows. So at first, her ideas are kind of to focus on these little lands, like this abandoned farm, or maybe this little plot right here. Purchase them, knock everything down, and start planting a bunch of trees and planting and growing a whole bunch of the magical plants so that we can try to convert it into an enchanted forest. However, Zelda does take things to a bit of an extreme. So remember, she wants to start buying up and taking over pretty much all of the land she can. And unless somebody manages to convince her otherwise, or possibly stops her, that means that she even wants to go as far as knocking down the school or the hospital. She wants to see all of the land be transformed back into an enchanted forest. And being a fairy, you know, she can get a little bit of nectar from a flower and be fine with that. But I really think Zelda needs to start forming relationships and friendships with other supernatural species if we're going to be able to rein her in a little bit and help her realize how even though Sleepy Meadows may have some development and it may have a little bit of your usual city buildings and your usual city progress and construction, that doesn't mean she has to get rid of everything just to prevent provide a safe spot for the unicorns. There can be a little bit of balance. Right now, she doesn't feel that balance at all. Right now, she just wants to knock everything down. She's young, she's impulsive, she's a rebel, she's still learning how to balance her fairy powers and her big hopes and dreams. But I'm hoping as time goes on, we'll find vampires, we'll find werewolves, we'll find zombies and witches that she can become friends with. She already has witches in her family. She actually has a half brother. She's not genetically related to him at all, but she has a brother named Thane, who is actually a moth variety of fairy. She also has a brother named Caden, who is a plant sim, and she has a sister. Where's her sister? There's her sister, Ariel, and Ariel is actually a witch, and her father is a witch, and her stepmother is a fairy. So we have a lot of supernaturals in this town, and we're going to have even more in the future. But right now, nobody knows her plans, and I don't think anybody would really listen to Zelda the Rebel and worry about her plans to knock down the school so that she could provide like a watering hole for unicorns and leprechauns. Because right now she kind of just lives in this teensy little plot of land way out in the middle of nowhere, literally out of a tiny refurbished fairy castle. So I don't think anyone's feeling very threatened by her. Maybe when we can afford enough money to start buying up the lots next to her, and maybe when we actually get our hands on a unicorn, or she becomes a more famous rebel, or she manages to start doing some fancier things in town and get more attention, then maybe people will pay attention to her. But right now it just sounds like big talk. Big talk from a woman who is still starting to learn her fairy powers and hasn't even met a unicorn yet. In fact, I'm 90% sure. Yeah, I don't see a single unicorn here. She does, however, know a few of the animals. And let's continue talking. Let's go ahead and baby feed the baby. She does happen to know her family cat, Soot. She has her dog, Biscuit, who is a piggy who's aggressive and clueless that Wyatt brought home as a stray dog one time. And she is working with Cameo Strange. Wow, Arabella, that was really cool. And she's working with this little foal. So I'm hoping we'll be able... Can I do anything with him? Can I brush him? Maybe we can play with him. But I'm hoping we'll be able to build a friendship with the little foal at some point. Because to be able to befriend a unicorn and have them move into your household, you do have to make it so that your Sims have... Oh, look at her. She is brushing him. You have to make it so that your Sims have at least 3 animal best friend forevers. And I've also done some reading, and it's actually a hidden trait. So to be able to get the unicorn, you have to have the friend of the wilderness, friend of the wild skill leveled up. And in order to do that, you have to befriend different animals. So I don't think it matters like what type of animal you have as your BFF, but you have to have a few BFFs. And you have to get your skill for the wilderness leveled up a little bit. And if we kind of sneaked over to NRAS and took like a little peek so we can try to understand like, well, what does that mean? And we look at the very bottom, where's her skills? Let's see. Gotta back up a little bit. Is that under advanced or intermediate? Let me check. All right, skill level. So just to clear it up, because I read like 4 or 5 different ways to integrate unicorns into your Sims 3 family, what you have to do is you have to get this hidden skill right here, wildlife friend, up to I think it was either 6 or 9. And to be able to do that, you have to befriend a bunch of animals. I don't think it matters if you befriend dogs, cats, or horses, but you need to befriend them. And you also need to watch raccoons, you need to watch deer, and all of that helps to build up your wildlife friend skill. And I also read that training a dog in how to hunt for minerals will help build up the wildlife friend skill too. So we're going to be working on all of those things to try to help Zelda get there and be able to convince a unicorn that she's pretty cool, and then have the unicorn move into her Enchanted Forest home. And we also need to plant a whole bunch of the magical plants that a unicorn would need to survive, the life fruit, the flame fruit, things like that. They don't actually need those things to survive, but we're going to say as part of the challenge they do. And then let's see, can I do anything else? Let's try playing with him. Zelda's very playful, so let's try running around with him for a second. And then I was thinking it would be really fun if we tried collecting up a bunch of the rare and magical creatures that are in the world, such as this will-o-wisp that's just kind of spinning around in the air, or some fireflies, and releasing them onto our lots. And then we can put down a spawner for those things on our lots as a way to say that she brought those creatures into the Enchanted Forest and she's helping the forest grow with them. So I think that'd be pretty fun. Come on, can we play with the little guy? I don't think we can actually play with him. I don't think there's enough room. So we're going to go ahead and let him go because, oh my gosh, Zelda, get yourself to the restroom right now. Come on, come on. I think there's a restroom like hiding inside of here. If I can remember how to get into it. Pretty sure it's in here. Holiday lights. Can we get inside? I know there's a restroom somewhere. Oh my gosh, Damien's still over here. What are you doing here, Damien? You better leave Marlene alone. I know she's expecting your like secret child, but still. I'm pretty sure that Zelda would not take it very well if she found out. Well, I don't know. Would she care if she found out that her father had an affair with a witch? I don't think she would. Zelda's kind of at a very selfish stage of her life. I imagine as a young adult being a fairy, she just tends to be really... really impulsive. She's very, very young. She has a lot to learn. Where the heck is the restroom? I know that there's a restroom here somewhere. I just can't figure out how to get her inside of it. Maybe if we come over here. All right, she wants to try going home. Can we run over here? I'm pretty sure there's a restroom here. In fact, do we have a restroom at home? We do have a restroom at home. So, okay, we're just going to go ahead and send Zelda home for the night. She has been out all day. She has been leading her protest. Developing her rebellious skill is definitely going to be a really fun part of the challenge because I've not ever really focused on trying to get up the reputations that come with the Sims 3 University. There goes her dad. Oh my gosh. Darian. Oh my gosh. I totally forgot how he had a broomstick. It's been so long. Oh, and there's a raccoon. If only she didn't need to use the restroom. We could have her watch the raccoon and build up that Friends of the Wild skill. But there goes Darian, her dad, riding a broomstick. You guys, once I start getting used to being in this town again, it is just going to be the best thing. So we need to get Zelda something. I think she has a little, yeah, she's got like a little moped. But I imagine having a broomstick would actually be good for her. You can't really get much more eco-friendly than riding a broomstick. Oh my gosh, and Wyatt is visiting. Wyatt! No, this is terrible. Okay, Wyatt is visiting with a mummy. This is Izzy, and Izzy is actually the mummy nanny, believe it or not, of Zelda's family. So Izzy apparently has gotten her own home, but I imagine that she actually just has her own house, but she goes back to work at the Northstar family during the day. She takes care of the Northstar family's children and kind of takes care of the household and the cooking and all of those things. We do not need to have an affair between the family nanny and we don't need to have an affair between the family nanny and Wyatt. So we're going to get him out of here. And let me turn off his, let's see, where is your fairy ability, sir? Do you have it off? I hope you have it off. Okay, he should have his fairy ability off. He's excited. He's a little excited and nervous about the mummy, but she moved in next door. So we're going to send him home too. All right, come on, Wyatt. Let's get you back home. And then it looks like Biscuit has actually... Okay, come here. It looks like Biscuit has actually thrown up in the front yard. Wonderful. Biscuit, where are you? Biscuit, you have a doghouse. You can get out of the rain, you know. Let's get him to go inside of his little doghouse and get out of the rain. All right, so this, even though we were just talking about those bold plans to one day be a force with enough money and influence that we can potentially bulldoze the freaking school and hospital to make a wild forest for magical creatures, this is the very humble adobe that we actually have to work with our fairies from. So we're gonna have to see how this turns out. All right, Wyatt, let's send him over. We're gonna have him drink some pollen punch and then go ahead and go to sleep. So Wyatt actually spent his entire day working on his invention skill over at the scrapyard. And that was really fun, except for the fact that Wyatt did run into the leader of the pack, if you guys recall. And the leader of the pack leads the werewolf pack. He can be exceptionally dangerous. I'm quite nervous that we even bumped into him at all. Oh no, and Zelda just got home in time to pee herself. Oh. Yeah, I don't think anybody is going to be listening to Zelda's rebellious protest and how she's going to lead these super awesome construction efforts to build up a new forest when she's busy peeing herself. I'm sorry, Zelda. I have to remember, even though she's a supernatural fairy, these kinds of things still happen. I think she would be like, well, might as well clean this up since, you know, she already peed herself, so we'll have to send her to clean up. It's been so long since I played normal Sims 3 because of our Warrior Cats challenge that I'm sort of in shock. I'm like, whoa, there's so many things I need to do. So what are our little fairies going to do when it comes to, what the heck? Where did this come from? What even is this? Why do we have a table here? I don't even know why we have a table. I don't know why we need to replace the table with something. I have no idea where that table came from, but we're going to come over here and use the all-in-one bathroom so that she can get herself cleaned up. But we're going to say that this is actually like a tiny little cave with a stream that our two little fairies can go into, and they can clean up over here. Oh, can you not reach it, Zelda? Zelda, come over here. All right, let's send her this way. And we're going to see if we can have her use the all-in-one bathroom. Can you use it over here? Oh, she's trying to go the wrong direction for it. So let me move it just a little bit so that hopefully she can access it. But we're going to try to hide it inside of the bushes just a wee bit. Maybe if I scooch it over this way. Okay, hang on 1 second, guys. I may have too many bushes. That does happen from time to time. All right, what if I scooch that back and then put this, whoops-a-daisy. Now I've messed it all up. No, like I said, it's been so long since I played just regular Sims 3 without all the fancy bits and pieces attached to it. All right, can I get a plant? And then let's do move objects on. Yeah, without all of the expansions attached to it for warrior cats, that's kind of like jumping into a whole new game again. All right, come on. All right, Zelda, can you go in there? There we go. And we'll surround her with some more of the bushes. We'll surround this area with more bushes soon. But the all-in-one bathroom, we're going to say it's a little cave that the fairies can go into and they can kind of tidy themselves up. So hopefully that'll make her feel a bit better, being able to clean up. And then we'll come get some delicious fairy pollen. Since all these two need to eat, we'll be inside of their little fairy cave right now. All right, there we go. So hopefully we can manage to make something of their life. But right now they're just two broke fairies, just living in their little version of a commune, not really getting anything done in life. So we need to change that for sure. All right, Zelda, we'll go ahead and let her get some sleep. We'll let her eat and then get some sleep over here. And then, yeah. Oh, you can hear her drinking the fairy pollen. That's so cute. And meanwhile, the townspeople, it looks like crime is going up in town. So crime seems to be going up in Sleepy Meadows. We're going to have to see how that may potentially influence what we end up doing with our Sims. Because right now, these two are just focused on living kind of out on the edge, living on their own. Hopefully being able to convince unicorns and whatnot to come and live with them. Unicorns! Speaking of unicorns! Zelda! The unicorn's here! You guys! The unicorn! It's shown up today! Okay! Alright! There's the wild horse herd too! Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We need to convince this guy to move in with us. That's operation number one. We need to go ahead and we need to make sure we get enough money. We can take care of a unicorn and we need to convince the unicorn to move in. So forget about all of the big expansions with the Enchanted Forest and all of the other complicated things we're going to be doing in the future. Just step number one is getting the unicorn in the family. Oh, I don't think she has enough energy. We are unclear what sort of bipolar effects the Pharaoh's presence has on Sims, but it's been affecting Arabelle Pruitt and Zola Freeland quite adversely. Both Sims were seen squabbling over who should have the honor of being attacked next. So it looks like Arabella here and Zola, who are both two young women who live here in Sleepy Meadows, are starting to fight over being possibly the girlfriend for the leader of the pack, the werewolf pack. So we do have some criminal elements that seem to be gaining grounds. Look at that. Did you see that? Oh my gosh. Boots. Your name is Boots. Your name is not going to be Boots, Mr. Unicorn. Oh my gosh. It's so hard to see these guys sometimes. They show up quite often if you know where to look. But this is the first time we've seen him with Zelda. We need to get her over here. Look at that. We're right next to the Things. The Thing family. There we go. Oh, he's so handsome. Look at him. He is not going to be named Boots. That's for sure. We're going to be changing the name Boots. Oh my gosh. It's going to be 5 before we manage to get Zelda over here, but at least we know where the wild horse herd hangs out in town, and we know where to meet them. Oh, he's so pretty. I can't wait to have the unicorn in our family. No wonder Zelda wants to start like a forest just entirely dedicated to taking care of him. Look at him. He knows how good he looks. Oh my gosh. I would bring Zelda over here to meet him, but the thing is they vanish at 5. In fact, we'll keep an eye on them just to make sure that's true. But in the morning, we can send Zelda over to her family's house, so maybe she can steal some of their fruit, and we can start growing. Look at that. He's so pretty. Is he nuzzling with this wild horse? They look like they're sort of related, don't they? Oh, that's so cool. But what we can do with Zelda is we'll send her over to the Northstar's main house, and then we'll have her gather up some of these special rare fruits and vegetables that they grow in their garden, the magical fruits and vegetables, because I think it makes sense that in order to support the lifestyle of a unicorn, we should have some of the magical plants that you can grow in The Sims 3. And I'll try to look up what some of those plants are and like put a list in the comments so that you guys can have an idea of what sort of plants I plan on growing, like the life fruit, the plasma fruit. Yeah, see, now it's 5. Oh, da, 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 da. Na na, so pretty. And now the unicorn has vanished. So that's how it works. Oh, and Boots needs food. All right, so let's go ahead. We're gonna have to take care of Boots. Eat the trash pile. Boots, did you knock over the trash? Are you digging something up? Okay, he's gonna eat from his bowl. I have no idea. He's dug a hole in our yard for starters. And then we may get him a toy out in just a moment. So, or not Boots. Why did I call him Boots? Boots is the unicorn. So Biscuit is a stray dog that he's kind of hilarious looking, that Wyatt just picked up shortly after Wyatt and Zelda were married. And if you guys haven't checked it out, you definitely want to, oh, don't be so aggressive over your food, you little piggy. You definitely want to check out the Northstar family seasons 1 and 2. That was the very first time I ever played Sims 3. And that is where Zelda comes from. So I'm really excited to be continuing her story like 2 years later. All right, so we're gonna let Zelda go ahead and get some sleep. And what does Wyatt want to do? Set a fairy trap on an object. See, that's what I mean. I feel like because he's a fresh fairy as well, he just recently turned into a fairy, I feel like they would, oh, don't you dare send a text over to Izzy. You are happily married, sir. I feel like these two set a lot of fairy traps and they get into a lot of trouble because they're still very young fairies. So they're easily impressionable. They kind of have short attention spans. They're super playful. That just seems like something a very young fairy would do, as opposed to Zelda's stepmother, who is also a fairy, Gina, but she is a mad scientist. She's much, much older. She's much more mature. She's had more time to cope with her powers. She actually isn't really into doing any fairy powers. She's more focused on logic and science. It's a very interesting clashing mix. In fact, her favorite thing to do is gather up her jellyfish and her robot fish. That's what she has like collections of inside of her laboratory in the basement. We may go see the family's basement today just because I think that'd be pretty cool. All right, are you guys almost ready to wake up? Wyatt, oh, there we go. Wyatt is feeling better. His fairy powers are restored. He wants to go collect up some scrap and improve his inventing skill. And he does want to earn a little bit of rebel influence. So first thing we're going to do with Zelda is try to get her to the point. Oh, and Biscuit's like, are you guys awake yet? First thing we're going to do with Zelda is try to get her to be friends with 3 animals. So why not start with Biscuit? Let's go ahead and have her wake up. Look at her. Oh, she's so cute. Biscuit, don't eat your owner, okay? I know she's like a tempting little fly. I don't know. Look at his eyes. I think he's thinking about it. I think he's considering giving that a good little lunge. Okay. And let's come over. Look at that. Be barked at. Well, that's a charming way to start the day. Well, let's go ahead and we're going to start... Why not play fetch? We'll start with that. All right, Biscuit. You and Zelda have some things to learn together. Zelda, we need to get you a cuter umbrella, by the way. That just doesn't seem like the cutest umbrella, if you ask me. But we'll start with having her and Biscuit play together. And she might as well start from home, after all. Oh, look, she actually knows Shaggy. Oh, no, that's Alex. I thought she knew Shaggy Rogers from the Scooby-Doo crew, because they are NPCs. They're some of the townies that are inside of this town. Teach trick. Affection. Let's try talking to Biscuit. And then I don't know how much. And then let's try tug of war, I guess. Eternally faithful from a pure reputation. All right, so Biscuit doesn't want to play with us. What's this? Zelda has been eternally faithful to Wyatt. Zelda has the eternally faithful reputation. That's what I thought. That's right, Wyatt. You better stay away from Izzy. Izzy the mummy is actually a heartbreaker. She used to be very flirty when she was quite young, and that's what got her turned into a mummy, is Izzy's backstory. So yeah, beware of Izzy. Because Izzy, oh look, and there's Missy Usher, and as you can see, she actually looks like the Bride of Frankenstein. But Izzy Lapis, who happens to be the mummy, the nanny mummy for Darian over here, she actually got turned into a mummy because she tried to flirt with the married husband of a very powerful priestess back in her ancient lands, and so that priestess didn't take it so well, and she turned Izzy into a mummy. So that's Izzy's backstory, and she still hasn't learned learned after all of these centuries not to flirt with the wrong people. So we'll have to see how that goes. But we're going to start from home, because that's with Zelda's fairy mind. I feel like she would kind of cope with whatever's right in front of her. She's not very good at long-term thinking, and developing those skills may be needed in order to invite the unicorn into her family. But I think she knows the more she tries to talk and communicate with animals, then the more that she might start to be able to work with the unicorn. As far as she knows, she doesn't know where to find him yet, after all. All right, let's go ahead. Let's try sniffing hand. What about brush? Come on, Biscuit. Might as well start building a bit of a relationship. Wyatt may have dragged you home, and you two may have been kind of forced into this relationship together, but I'm sure we can make it work. All right, there you go, little guy. Oh, he's got the funkiest little ears, doesn't he? All right, and then we'll just go ahead, and I still want to do like play fetch with him. I think that Zelda likes movements like that. Oh, look at this, Kareem. Oh my gosh, is that our mailman? That's hilarious. Okay, hang on, buddy. Everybody's complaining. I was trying so hard to hide some of our objects, but it looks like I tried too hard, and now they are where people can't reach them. So what about this? Is that gonna make it better? So you can reach your little mailbox. I guess even Zelda and Wyatt, living out here in what feels like the middle of nowhere, have to conform to some of the rules in town. All right. Hello, Mr. Mailman. Goodbye, Mr. Mailman. All right. I hope we don't get in trouble for that. Oh no, Biscuit. Okay, we might as well scold him for that, because we really can't have him be aggressive. He just growled at her for trying to suggest playing fetch. Can we reinforce like his? Apparently we can't even reinforce those traits yet. Teach, trick, play. Let's try just have fun. Come on, Biscuit. All right, this is good training for Zelda. She's going to have to learn how to communicate with the animals on this most basic level if she ever wants to win the regards of a unicorn. If she can't even convince her cranky puppy to spend time with her, she'll never have any luck when it comes to a unicorn. Also, I feel like she would be annoyed that it keeps raining, so I wonder where the weather stone is. Let's go visit. We'll have her visit the weather stone and try to change the weather to clear in a little bit. Also, did you see that? What are you guys doing down here? There's all of these little, oh, there we go. Somebody's running off. Oh, is that a firefighter? Huh. You never know what's going to happen in Sleepy Meadows, you guys. Just be aware, Sleepy Meadows is an odd place where odd magical things or ridiculous things like very flirty mummies moving in next door tend to happen. All right, so hopefully this will be good for our relationship with them. All right, there you go, little buddy. Hopefully this will help you out. But really, you need to behave yourself, okay? All right, come on, Biscuit. Maybe if we give Biscuit a biscuit, let's give Biscuit a biscuit and see if that makes things better. Because their relationship seems to be kind of not going anywhere. So I imagine a unicorn is just like a really smart, powerful creature. So why on earth would it listen to us if we can't even like train our dog? All right, there you go, Zelda. You can start trying with those things at least. Biscuit's like, are you kidding? I'm not going to do that. I have no reason to listen to you. That's what Biscuit says. Biscuit, you could bring us home treasure, and then we could have Wyatt cut the gemstones, and we could earn so much money, which we desperately need. Biscuit is not going to listen to us. Do you see this? This isn't happening. Oh, and meanwhile, Chancer has gone up on his social networking. I love having Inras and watching as the Sims through the entire town continue to develop their own lives outside of our influence. Yeah, Biscuit's not going to listen to us, so let's just give up on that. All right, let's go ahead and have some pollen punch. Wyatt, are you ready to get up yet? Wyatt's still snoozing. What does he want to do? Project aura of creativity. That sounds a little bit safer than visiting a graveyard in this zombie-filled town. Really, Biscuit? Really? You guys, I think that's what he thinks about us. I don't think Biscuit thinks very highly of us whatsoever. Huh. So we're going to have to figure out a way to live with Biscuit. So step number 1. Manage to convince our exceptionally cranky dog to like us. That is something Zelda is going to have to do if she ever, look at him stalk away, if she ever wants to win the unicorn's regard. So, all right, Biscuit is going to be our first project. I'm hoping we can manage to pull some things off with him. So next time we'll have Biscuit maybe dig up some of these spots. Oh, we can't yet. He has to learn the hunting skill. Next time we will try to convince Biscuit and Zelda to hopefully become friends. And we will see what else Zelda gets up to. All right, Biscuit, we're coming for you. And we will step by step go through our quest to manage to convince the unicorn to move into our home, expand the Enchanted Forest, and hopefully breed up eventually over the course of Zelda's very long fairy lifespan 50 unicorn foals. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.